McDuffie.
You got a couple of minutes? I'd like to sit down with you.
I can't be talking to you.
You got something the other guys don't have. You exude something. You draw people in.
You're the big man on campus. I'm just a lowly intern.
What time you gotta work tomorrow?
9 a.m.
I thought I was being smooth and subtle.
No, you're pretty forward.
You have no idea how to tie a
No,
tie.
not a clue.
You got the best media mind in the country. All the reporters love you.
If your boy wins, you get a job in the White House. He loses, you're back at a consulting firm.
I've worked on more campaigns than most people have. By the time they're 40, he's the only one that's gonna actually make a difference in people's lives.
I saw these commercials. I thought George Clooney was running for president for real.
I'll vote for the fucker. Yeah. He may have killed Batman a long time ago, but hey, all is forgiven.
2012, I'm just writing his name on the ballot.
George Clooney for president.
If they
all
had
right.
put some John Williams music behind him, I would have just left the movie to go vote for him. Anything. Yeah, I would have gone like and gotten a lotto ticket and just wrote George Clooney where the numbers are supposed to
He's gonna go get his mail one day. It's gonna be like he's walking out the White House lawn or something. He's gonna say, "Well, you know you really didn't win, so you're gonna give it back." Well, hell no. You know how much more I'm gonna get laid after this?
Yeah, well, I won now. Yeah. How much more can this guy get laid?
I'm not sure. I think he's pretty much at the top level.
He can presidentially.
Matter of fact, being president could only slow him down from getting laid.
Not him. No. No.
Well, he would be the one guy who could get away with it, right?
Yeah.
Well, I guess that's true.
Who do you think you voted for? And they're like, we heard you slept with an intern. He's like, try 30.
I know.
Look, I mean, the thing is, like, it'd be cool, but it'd be cool to see George Clooney as president. But I'd be too worried that the same thing that happened to Schwarzenegger would happen to him. Where, well, I won't say you're going to miss out on any good movies, but it seemed like when he was running for governor, well, when he was governor, it's like I don't know what the fuck happened to him, but politics just sucked the fucking life out of him and made him decrepit.
He don't give a fuck. I mean, politics ain't got nothing to do with it. You know, he's on the serious party platform. He's like, you know, I promise like a motorcycle to all my bros. You know, everybody gets a free broad. You know,
golf every weekend.
An 18-year-old intern, and people be like, you know, she was 18. She's an intern. That's so wrong. And he just be like, hey, you know, come on.
A fucking 20-year-old.
Well, you would have to think that then the White House cabinet would be the whole Ocean's 11, and they just go around to other countries pulling heists.
Oh, Brad Pitt as the vice president?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Matt Damon as Secretary of State.
Don Cheadle as the janitor? Yeah. Well, you know, George Clooney is not enough to just direct movies, you know. He has to direct what he considers to be smart dramas.
Well, yeah, and he has a pretty good record so far of it, I would say. I mean, wasn't Confessions of a Dangerous Mind his first attempt,
film,
and that was
excellent.
like knocked it out of the goddamn
Hell yeah.
park.
I mean, and like, you know, like not everything he's done has been successful, like Leatherheads, but you know, it had its integrity. I mean, you know, I appreciate the fact that this guy, he tries to do different things. No, I mean, he does dramas where he's like, hey, I want to do a screwball comedy. Let me put everything I got into it. Okay, it didn't work. It's not going to keep me down. I'm going to do something else.
This Nose movie is kind of about the wishy-washiness of even trying to attach the term integrity to anyone involved in being in the spotlight.
Yeah.
A lot of people, I won't say a lot of people, there's a few people who are kind of split on just how intelligently this script is written. And I can see the flaws in it myself. I almost hate to criticize it because I did enjoy the movie very much, but I have to say that it started out in a way that doesn't reflect how good the second half is. I think I was watching. I felt like I was watching two different movies.
Didn't you want to call Aaron Sorkin and say, "Get in here fast, we need you" during the first half of this?
I want to call Aaron Sorkin and the editor of this movie and say, "Get in here, write some shit, and cut to the chase really quick." Because
but you know what the thing is, when you mentioned that, okay, I will say that there it does seem like there are two parts to this movie, and honestly, this is probably his apology. This is probably George Clooney's apology for From Dusk Till Dawn. Because I'm sitting there going, okay, is this just a vanity piece for him? Okay, George, I get it. You want to be president. Your ideas are better than everybody. And then when it gets to the second part, you're like, what the shit? What the hell's going on now?
You don't expect an outspoken Democrat like Clooney to be making a film that so pointedly, you know, and I mean pointedly, is attacking the flaws in the actual current Democratic Party's administration of optimism.
Well, I didn't expect him when he got to the White House for his cabinet to turn to vampires. Everybody just starts attacking him.
He's got to, you know.
Man, I can't believe y'all still stuck on that movie. I'm sure George Clooney doesn't even remember he did that movie.
Well, we need to remind him that he did.
I'll remind him. All right?
God damn it. Listen, you can't count that because that's what back when George Clooney was in his head shaking days.
Yeah,
there was
past that now.
There was a time he was a bobblehead, and then somebody, and then they got the grip department to make some sort of like brace behind his head. They just or they put that brace on his head and they just CG it out.
No, it was that Batman suit that fucked him up. But he managed to fuck that suit up.
I don't think that he's actually just pointing at Democrats. I think he's disgruntled with politics.
Well, you're right.
In general,
right. But he uses the Democrats in the film for his.
And I think he does that because, as you know, anybody who knows about George Clooney, I was telling these guys in the parking lot, the guy's like, he's an activist. He's a humanitarian activist. He's an outspoken liberal. He's, to the point where he's sitting down with Barack Obama. He's coming in here, Negro, move. Let me tell you about the FAR and the Sudan and everything.
Just get out of the chair.
Just get out of the way. Shit, let me talk to these people.
Let me give you the Clooney points.
Yeah. The guy is very active, and he has never shy. He's been on Charlie Rose. He's been on NPR. He's talked to a lot of people. He even pissed off Charlton Heston one time because he was so liberal.
Well, who's not fucking pissing off Charlton Heston? Yeah.
Seriously.
From apes to fucking George Clooney.
Everyone's pissing him off.
Hey, Mr. Heston, I think you dropped something. You trying to call me, say I'm littering? You call me Pinko?
Damn
you!
you!
American, I can do whatever I want.
Damn you all to hell!
But I think after George Clooney was very much behind the Obama campaign.
Oh yeah.
He was fully active in the campaign for Obama, and I think given the political climate that we have now of party politics just gone wrong. Nobody being able to make a decision because everybody either wants to play dirty or nobody wants to speak up loudly. Everybody wants to just fight for their own team. He's just said, you know what, fuck it. I had enough. I'm going to make this film, just pointing the fingers at everybody, but I have to come from the angle of the Democrats because otherwise they're going to say George Clooney has made a liberal film.
Right. And I think that ultimately this is about the disillusionment that Clooney himself is probably feeling with the Obama administration. There's so many people who felt like, hey, it's a new day, went, oh, wait, same as the old day, And this film is maybe the most cynical film I've ever seen about politics, and that is saying something.
Well, we keep talking about George Clooney, but this is really Ryan Gosling's film.
It absolutely is.
This is another performance where we get to see different side of Ryan Gosling, especially after something like Drive. And this is also his film in that he's the central character of it. In this film, he plays Stephen Myers. Now, he is the head campaign staffer for Governor Mike Morris. And Governor Mike Morris, he has put in his bid in the Ohio primaries for president,
right,
of the Democratic Party,
right. Stephen, he's a sharp guy. He's media savvy.
Yes.
He's a guy you want to have on your team. He understands how to reach people. And Philip Seymour Hoffman is, I guess, he's the campaign manager.
He's the campaign manager,
and he realized what an asset he is.
And even though he's the head campaign staffer, some people might call him a little naive. He's coming in, he's all bright-eyed, he's optimistic. He sees Mike Morris as a guy who can deliver on all these promises that he's putting out. What is he like? I'm the environmental president. I'm the economic president.
Look in your closet. There's a jumpsuit. You're gonna have a flying car. Fuck Iraq. Fuck oil. We're using magnets from now on.
Yeah. He's promising everything. And why shouldn't Stephen believe this guy? And by the way, Mike Morris is played by George Clooney.
Right.
And why wouldn't he be? It's George Clooney.
Well, yeah, it's George Clooney. And Morris so far has shown that the guy is full of integrity. He says, hey, this is what I want to do. I'm not going to back down. So much so that they need to get the endorsement of this one politician, Senator Thompson, played by Jeffrey Wright.
Yeah.
Because he can bring 350 delegates if you get his endorsement.
Yes.
So between the two front runners, it's a combat over who's going to get this guy's endorsement. And Morris is like, I don't like this guy. This guy, he goes against a lot of things I believe in.
We're sticking to our ideals. We're pure at heart, and Stephen is very proud of being associated with this campaign. Now, I guess the tipping point comes when, oh man, things never go right when a pretty young thing comes into the picture. And here we got like a young, fine-ass intern played by Evan Rachel Wood.
That's which is all you got to say.
She comes in and tells young Stephen, like, you know what? She just says, pretty much, I want to have sex with you. I've been watching you for a long time.
I worked with you in Iowa, actually.
Oh, that's right. You changed something.
My hair?
You changed your hair.
No.
Oh, I see. Which I look like a real dumbass right now. Huh?
No, not at all. You're the big man on campus. I'm just a lowly intern. You get to stay at the Millennium. Okay, they put us at a motel on the other side of the river. We do have a better bar, though.
I've heard that.
You should come by one night. Have a drink with the worker bees.
I might do that. What's a good night?
Tonight's good.
Tonight.
Well, you have my number. It's programmed right there on your phone.
Uh-huh.
Under Mary?
I know your name's Mary.
My name is Molly.
Here is where we begin to see a lot of relationships form that probably are going to start to bring this whole thing down. One is the temptress. The other is that Stephen takes a meeting from their opponent, who's working for Pullman, who's played by Paul Giamatti. The guy's name is Tom Duffy. He has a secret meeting with this guy. Secret meetings with your opponent can never lead to anything good. He's hanging out with his nice little young intern in bed, feeling all sexy, thinking, shit, I can be the next president now. I'm the man, And then he gets a phone call. In that instant, those few seconds that he takes that phone call, everything that he believed in, all his ideals, all his optimism are shattered, man. And it's funny because there are two different movies to me, and each one affects how I perceive the other half. It's like the first half, while there are a lot of political setups, I think it slows the movie down. I mean, it is. It's a very slow beginning. But the benefit of that is that they're setting up all these relationships and they're building up all these characters. And they're humanizing these characters. They're making them real people. And these real people are playing out what almost feels like it's not shot documentary style, but it has a very documentary feel to it. There's hardly any music. There's a lot of deals going on that are just, either you're into it or you're not, because you might be into politics, you might not be. And then once you're actually starting to get bored with that part, at least when I was, they get to the second part of the film. And you realize, like, everything that they were doing that you might have thought was slowing the movie to a crawl was just building a whole stack of a house of cards up that in the second part, they were just going to, like, tear down.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I mean, because that's how I felt, too. I was like, even though it was interesting just coming from from a point where I like to watch great actors act, even though the first part, I was given plenty of that, even though I was just like, is this really going anywhere, or is this somebody's like personal agenda? I'm still not sure, but I'm enjoying the acting. But other than that, it better really it really better throw something at me quick before I completely tune out. And once it does in the second part, I mean, it really shines. I mean, and it really takes you to a point where you just really didn't see the movie go. And I don't know. I haven't seen any trailers for this film, and I hope to God they don't really like give it away. But
right.
I like coming in this movie cold, because you know what? It's like seeing somebody. You said the stack of, like, watching a house of cards. To me, it felt like somebody placing dominoes, building this insane design where I'm like, okay, but who gives a shit? This is pretty and all, but. And once they knock down those dominoes, you're like, oh, fucking badass. This spells out fucking, this is the bat symbol on the goddamn ground. That is fucking cool. Wow. Wow.
I really can't say I agree with you that it was in terms of slowed to a crawl. I was still enjoying it, but I was saying, where are you guys going with this? Because it was a pretty standard political drama up until about the halfway point. And the reason for all that is because it does take a while to pull off what they want to pull off and what they do pull off. And it takes getting you to genuinely like Ryan Gosling's character and sympathize with you, getting him to think, wow, wouldn't it be great if this guy could really become president? This George Clooney character. I mean, you like him. You're like, I totally